Pastor, doesn't science disprove the Bible?
Isn't Genesis just a fairy tale?
Is God for real? Did he really create everything in 6 literal days?
Didn't God just use the Big Bang?
Why is there death and suffering? Do you really believe the Bible?
Didn't man evolve from apes?
For answers to these questions and more, stand by for Believing the Bible.
Welcome to Believing the Bible. This is Scott Lane with Dr. Carl Williams, Dr. Ken Harris, and our producer, Jeremiah Rosenthal, all directors at the San Antonio Bible-Based Science Association. We are here to reassure you you can believe the Bible from the very first verse. One of the great topics of our time is climate change. And what we'd like to do today is give you a look at climate change, at real data, at real truth, and from a biblical Christian perspective. Now, the Bible tells us we were made stewards of the earth, and we are to care for it and keep it as stewards. There's a charge today, guys, that Christians are, ostriches, and we got our head in the sand, and we're just going to let the earth burn. Can Christians do that?
No. We're mandated to take dominion of the earth and be good stewards of it. That's in the first chapter of the book of Genesis.
Now, what has the media been saying for the last 50 years?
Well, it depends on which decade you're talking about. I mean, the earth is going to freeze to death. The earth is going to get overheated.
That was the 70s and 80s. We were going to freeze to death.
It's gone back and forth several times in the 20th century alone.
Yeah, that's right.
But the overriding thing we've heard for the past 40 years has been that we're going to cook ourselves, that there's global warming. Now, we are going to show you real data and the actual situation. We're going to expose fudge data to support a political agenda. We're going to give you an analysis of 12 predictions of climate catastrophe, because we've heard all the things of doom and gloom. Let's check on them, and let's see what's actually happening out there. The truth of the matter is our warming is more closely tied to sunspot activity than to CO2. And we can't control the sun. We're also going to do an analysis of the Paris Climate Agreement and look at increased CO2 is actually greening the planet. That's something you won't hear on the evening news. What we should be concerned about, including smog, the ozone layer, clean water, and more, because we are stewards of this planet. How can a Christian view and be supportive in this whole issue? Can we be ostriches? Can we just stick our head in the sand?
Well, obviously, if we're not, there's a lot of regulation that comes out of the federal government to regulate the industry that produces automobiles, that produces smog and so forth, which has been beneficial. In other words, those regulations have improved emissions of vehicles that has decreased the smog in places like Los Angeles, which had a basin which would accumulate smog to a dangerous level. So those regulations have been good, and good people recommended them. So yes, humans are, the Bible says we are supposed to be good stewards of the land. That requires all people, including Christians, to look at what we're doing to God's green earth.
Let me tell you let me give you one piece that you won't hear on the evening news. Antarctic sea ice is at a 12-year high.
Now, wait a minute. I thought it was all gone.
No, it's not all gone. In point of fact, it leveled off about 12 years ago, and we're at a 12-year high for that. East Anglia, you know who East Anglia is? East Anglia is the English NOAA. They're meteorology people. We have NOAA in the United States, and Australia has their own meteorological group. Guess what we've caught all three doing in the past 40 years?
Did they fudge their information?
Fudge data.
Fudge upside down.
Oh my goodness! Scientists don't tell the truth.
They put thermometers on the tarmacs of airports. Why would that be bad?
Golly, do you think black surfaces might absorb a little more heat? I don't know.
They have thermometers out at sea buoys, and they take the readings that look high and ignore the ones that look low. Prediction one that comes out of all this: New York City West Side Highway will be underwater in 20 to 40 years. That was said 37 years ago. So it ought to be just about underwater at this point. Do you know how much the water has risen? Incidentally, that West Side Highway is 10 feet above the previous water line.
Oh, okay.
Okay. How much has it risen in the past 37 years?
Minus 1 foot?
3 inches.
Oh.
3 inches.
In 1,200 years, we'll get there. Okay? Prediction 2, and this is the one everybody talks about today. In 2018, AOC, a real,
Climatologist?
Climatologist, no, she's not, said if we do not act now, man will be extinct in 12 years. Well, folks, we only got 4 years to go because that was said in 2018. The truth of the matter was what she was misquoting, and these people misquote greatly. She was misquoting a paper out of the UN which said that if in 12 years, if we don't act on this stuff, it'll be too late and everything will die off. Well, that is assuming that we understand the atmosphere. And the truth is, we sadly don't. Prediction 3, Al Gore, who's made a whole profession out of this, in 2007 said the North Polar ice cap will be gone in 7 years, which meant in 2014 it should be gone. Well, I got bad news for Al. Guess what?
It's still there?
It's still there.
I haven't looked. Are you sure?
It's still there.
Are you sure?
It's still there.
Okay.
Prediction 4, hurricane numbers are increasing and getting stronger. Guess what happens when you analyze actual hurricanes going back from 1900 to 2025?
They're decreasing?
It's decreasing.
Oh, my goodness.
Not only in terms of number, but in terms of intensity. And, you know, they have movies about this, about, well, it's going to be a type 5. It's going to destroy the United States and all this kind of stuff. And the truth of the matter is we're seeing none of this. How many hurricanes landed in the U.S. last year? Yeah, it's a round number. It's called 0.
Oh, well, one thing is for certain, though, as the population along the coast has increased, any given hurricane is going to have a greater effect just because there's more people for it to hit.
Yeah, that's a true statement.
And plus, inflation dramatically drives up the cost of rehabilitation of all those places.
Yeah, it's no longer 1905 in Galveston when they get hit and nobody knew about it.
Right, but it's still it's not a dramatic increase in the hurricanes themselves.
Nope. You are listening to Believing the Bible. This is Scott Lane with Dr. Ken Harris and Dr. Carl Williams. If you would like to learn more, go to sabsa.org. That is SABBSA.org. Prediction 5, snow and frost will disappear. In point of fact, you should tell that to the people in the Northeast this past year because they are buried under snow.
Absolutely.
In point of fact, the weird thing is they've now turned that around and said, well, there was so much snow because of global warming. Al Johnson would love this stuff in terms of they can twist the stuff any way they want to. Prediction 6, global temperatures will be plus 0.8 degrees C to plus 1.8 degrees C above average by 2014. Guess what? It didn't rise that much. It did not happen. Prediction 7, tornadoes are getting more frequent, greater numbers, and much stronger. Well, we see them on video now because there's so much video. But guess again, when you track tornadoes from 1900 to 2025, what do you see?
A decreased number.
A decrease in number and intensity.
But likewise, there's increased in population. So any tornado that does occur is more likely to hit something.
It's going to be bad. Prediction 8. Now the weather predictions you've been hearing for our doom and gloom, epic cold and snow are worse than last year on an apocalyptic scale. Again, that global warming gets blamed for everything, whether they did it or not. Prediction 9. 2012, the Smithsonian predicted that in 10 years, 90% of the Great Coral Reef would be gone due to climate change.
It's increasing, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
How would I guess that?
Human activity causes 4.6% of carbon emissions. That is secular data. And carbon dioxide only makes up 0.04% of our atmosphere. And most of that, 96% of it, comes from the sea. We're not producing it. The Antarctic is now cooling again over the last 3 decades. You won't hear that on the evening news. Prediction 10, increases in CO2 will collapse agriculture across the world. And instead, what we've found in the past 30 years is the world has gotten 20% greener. Guess what plants breathe?
CO2?
CO2!
Who knew?
It was warmer during the Roman and medieval warm periods than it is today. It's all about the sun, stupid. It's all about the fact that we have things going on that we can't control. The latest prediction is that global warming will deoxygenate the oceans. But that one's biting the dust because we're now finding out that the ocean oxygenation is not decreasing. when we look at real data like they said it would. Now, you've got all sorts of people like Alan Carlin, who in 2009 had been at the EPA, had been there for decades. He resigned because he said this is all just foolishness. You have Dr. James Lovelock, who in the 1980s and early 90s, he was the father of the green movement. In 2012, he said, I'm through. He said, this is all stupidity at this point. He said, this has been taken on as a religion. There's no science here whatsoever. Now, let's talk about the things we do need to be worried about. Do we need to be worried about smog? Yes.
Of course. Absolutely.
What about, there was a big thing years ago about ozone layer. Have you heard about that recently?
No.
We did something positive there. This is something we did do, and we have controlled. The ozone was being depleted because of our use of CFCs, carbofluorocarbons. We cut that out of our ACs and that type of stuff. And guess what we've seen over the past 15 years?
The hole's getting smaller?
The hole's getting smaller. The ozone is being recharged. It'll take till about 2060 to do it. But that one we needed to be concerned about, and we did a positive thing with it. All the prognostications of doom seem unfounded. This is not about science now, but politics and money. CO2 levels follow global warming trends. They don't cause them. We still need to help keep our environment clean as we are stewards. Genesis 8:22 tells us, while the earth remains, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night shall not cease. Folks, even if we try to screw it up, either the earth has so many rebounding effects, is so well managed, or God will come and not allow us to do it. We have that promise from him.
Information for creation events in our area are on our website's calendar page. For more information or to schedule a presentation, go to sabsa.org or call 210-599-7240. When you go to our website, you can click on a link to our newsletter. Our website has a link for contact information on which you can order our newsletter to be emailed to you, or you can call us. Also go to whyshouldyoubelieve.com. That is Terry's website containing articles looking at current day issues from a biblical perspective. SABSA meets the second Tuesday of each month at 7 p.m. We are now meeting at Faith Lutheran Church just south of the corner of Jones Maltzberger and Thousand Oaks. There you will find biblical apologetics and creation science teaching found nowhere else in Bexar County, as well as the availability of books and videos on these important subjects. If you missed any part of this show, you can listen to the show anytime by going to the AM 630 KSLR, the Word in South Texas website. Click on KSLR Podcast, scroll down until you find Believing the Bible. Please join us again next Saturday for Believing the Bible. I'm Scott Lane, and for Terry Reed, Dr. Carl Williams, and Ed Salzwell, thanks for listening, and we hope you found today a reason to believe the Bible.